Yeah, so write it down. SOAP integration. SOAP integration. Keep the heading as SOAP integration. Write it down. SOAP stands for Simple Object Access Protocol. Simple Object Access Protocol. SOAP stands for Simple Object Access Protocol. Next line. It is a XML based protocol. It is a XML based protocol which is used for exchanging exchanging information exchanging information between two applications or keep it as like in comma and continue, or it is a communication protocol. It is a communication protocol designed to communicate designed to communicate via internet. It is a communication protocol designed to communicate via internet. Next line. We can use SOAP API SOAP API to perform CRUD operations to perform CRUD operations. Next line. WSDL. Keep it as like in subheading WSDL. WSDL. Write it down. WSDL stands for Web Service Description Language. Description language, comma, web service description language, comma. WSDL is an XML based definition language. WSDL is an WSDL is an XML based definition language. Based X definition language. Full stop. Next line. It is used. It is used for it is used for describing the functionalities, describing the functionalities of a soap based web service. Soap based web service. Next one. Prerequisites. Prerequisites. Prerequisites to perform soap integration. First one, WSDL address. WSDL address. Second one, authentication details. Third one, functional requirement. It's nothing but thread operation. Do we need to create a record, need to get a record or updating or deleting? Okay, so let us discuss about like a SOAP integration now. So this is something we'll discuss in inbound and outbound both. Okay, fine. So SOAP integration. So SOAP is something. So we are good with like a REST integration, right? So REST integration is something we are going to communicate with a third party application. To do that, so we need a REST web services where we can use to communicate, where we can use this to communicate with a third party application. So we do have a prerequisite sites for this, and then we are going to configure that in REST message and all the things which we already discussed. Okay, so in the same way, even we can use like a SOAP integration as well. SOAP stands for like a simple object access protocol. Okay, so this is a XML based actually. So whereas if I go with like in REST, so REST we do have like in JSON, XML, and then we do have like an HTML, JavaScript, and raw data. Okay, form data we have. So all this we have all the types of content which we can use there. Whereas if I come to like in SOAP integration, here only XML based protocol. By using this XML only, we are going to exchange or else which we are going to interact with a third party application actually. So if client is asking, the content type should be for sure XML based and with a high security, then we will go with the SOAP integration. Okay, so SOAP, whatever the things is like an available in like an REST and this one, the connectivity or else the purpose of like an using is like an same. But whereas SOAP is something we use only XML based protocol to interact with the third party application. And here we can perform the same as before CRUD operations. We can create a records, we can create like, and we can read a multiple records from a third party application. We can update those, we can delete those records as well of any table in our service now. Okay, so that's how which we will use the SOAP API to perform these CRUD operations actually. So we are going to communicate with a third party application by using WSDL address here, not with like an endpoint or API. We call it as like an WSDL address. So even this also link only. Okay, so we call it as like an WSDL address. Okay, so there we call it as like an endpoint or API. Here we call it as like an WSDL. WSDL address is nothing but web service description language we call it. Okay, so this is a XML based, I told you, right? Okay, let me show you how that WSDL look like. Okay, so any just for like an displaying purpose, I'm gonna show you how the WSDL look like actually. Okay, so let this load. So WSDL is something we'll do have like an HTTPS instance name dot servicenow dot com, and then we'll go with the table name and the URL will be there. Something similar to SOAP, REST. Okay, so let me go to any of a record over here. Just for displaying purpose only actually. Okay, after incident dot do question mark is there, right? Just remove everything and just give WSDL. You can see the WSDL format over here. So this is a XML document. See, this XML document does not appear to have any style information associated with it. The documentary is shown below. So just like in WSDL document of the record, incident record. So that's how the WSDL thing will come up. But whereas we are going to utilize, see here you can check it out like in the SOAP actions which you get it. Okay, getting a records and all this. So this is what we call it as like an WSDL address. Okay, not this one. It will be just like a URL. Okay, so the SOAP actions which we can perform over here. Okay, see, delete a record we have, get keys we have. Okay, so all the things, full information, which we can check it over here. So ServiceNow incident things we have. Okay, so that's how which we will go with us. Okay, so whenever we get a requirement, let's say example, whenever we get a requirement. Okay, so what the things which we just need to make sure with the client is we just need to ask the visual address from them and then authentication details as well, and then what kind of requirement we need to do. Is it like in creating a new record or else reading it or else updating or deleting? So what's the requirement? Authentication details and visual address. We just need to ask these details from a third party application, which is nothing but client, we call it. Okay, if they provide these details, okay, we are good to start with like an integration stuff. Okay, and the Postman tool is just for like an REST, not for like an SOAP actually. Okay, so to test this one, so we don't have like an much options like third party applications. Here we have a test related list over here in a SOAP message actually. Okay, so let's say I just got like in these three details from a third party application. Okay, so let me go to like in SOAP message. If it is like an outbound integration, we have SOAP message. See here, SOAP message, and here. So let me get into like an any of our one existing SOAP message over here for full information which we can discuss. Okay, so see here, this is a name. Might be like an anything. It depends on like in your requirement which we can go ahead. So you can keep your client name as well. Okay, and there is like an application as well and accessible form we have. Okay, so here there is like an empty thing. So here's we just can download the WSDL if I check it up. See, this is the WSDL you know link will be. http.webservices.amazon. It's the third party application one, and the link of the third party application just like an endpoint. But whereas in SOAP, we call it as a WSDL. Okay, and here if I want to go with like a mutual authentication, I can use this one, or else there is authentication type as well. See, basic I have basic authentication or mutual authentication, which I can utilize over here. Description, we know about it, just like an adding on a purpose or else the description regarding like in the requirement whatever we got, and that we will keep it in a sweet and simple over here to understand why we have created the SOAP message. And then the XML thing which we have down, if I scroll down, see, here we have a function. So function is something, we have a methods, right, in REST, get, post, put, and all this. Okay, so here we have a functions. Let's say example, if I open one, okay, just like a methods, here we have this one. Okay, so let me go back. See, SOAP message function is nothing but the methods which is available in REST. Okay, so in this way, which we just need to go ahead. So the function is nothing but here they have just mentioned like an help name over there. And then SOAP message is nothing but the previous one, the parent one. Okay, the security type, if you want to add something, you can go and add it. Okay, or else you just can close it. And then if there is like an any mid servers is associated with it, okay, you can add the mid servers as well. Okay, and you can log this one. Okay, and this strip white space is like in, this is just to envelope before posting it. So enveloping is something as closing up, wrapping it when we are sending the data. So this is very secure thing when compared to like in REST message. So the security will go ahead with like in envelopes things will be available over here actually. So envelope is something, here we do have a methods, headers, body, envelope will be there, and then under that header will be there, under that body, and we'll get like an all this. See here, here we have an envelope in XML, and under that we do have a body, and later we have a headers and all this. Okay, so it will like in the security is very high in SOAP when compared to REST. Okay, and here see, even though I have added like an authentication in a SOAP message, the parent one wherever here, still it will ask again one more time authentication. Here, inherit from parent will not be available. Okay, on the individual authentications need to be like an added over here actually. Okay, SOAP action is something, just we will give like an URL of a function over here. Okay, if I scroll a bit down, see this is an endpoint. SOAP endpoint is nothing but the WSDL address. Okay, and this is a request body kind of thing actually, which will be in a XML. Only XML will be allowed in SOAP message. Other than that, nothing will go ahead with this actually. So only XML thing, XML content type, we are going to use it. Okay, so that should be a very clear over here. See here, this is what something which they will use like in all the data over here. Okay, so just we do have an envelope, body, and headers and the insert and all the things which is available. If I want to make it as like an inner XML content type with a high security, then I go with the SOAP message. Even we just need to suggest the client as well. If it is a high security with the XML data, then we will ask them to go with the SOAP integration. The discussions will happen in a beginning of like a requirement starting, right? So there you just can highlight the same thing. Anyhow, the architects and then business analysts, whatever, whoever which we will be available, they will anyhow highlight that one. If you get a chance, you can highlight that as well. Okay, and the same thing, whatever we have in a REST message, the same stuff will be available. Auto generate variables, we can generate the variables depending on like in the fields available here. And then preview script uses, we have like a sample script as well. Okay, if it is like an SOAP integration which we are doing, and the thing is like an available here. So if I want any samples kind of stuff, so the same thing which will be available, but only the change is like in here SOAP message v2, that's REST message v2 will be there. Okay, and if I go back to like, and here, see there is a test. Okay, so test is something, if I want to test something else after going ahead with like an, implementations and everything, how the request will be, how the response will be, everything will be available. Okay, so function is this one, and then which is created now. And if I scroll down, see, this is the request which we have sent it. And then if I scroll a bit down, see here the status is like in 410. So 410 has like in one specific meaning for that. So if you want like an other than the HTTP codes which we know about like an 401, 500, 200, 201. Okay, so this is also one kind of like an in error message which I can say. So the request resource, see, the meaning for that is like in the requested resource is no longer available on the server and there is no forwarding address. So we just need to remove the references of for all the resources. So there is no server available right now. That's what which we got like in 410. So 410 is nothing but if the server is available, then it will come up, or else it will show 410 as server is not available to forward this. Okay, as it is like an, from a personal developer instance which you are using, everything is like in a dummy data. It's like a demo data will be available, right? That's why we'll get these kind of stuff. But in real time, we will get like an, success codes only, success status like 200, 201 only. Okay, so that's how which we are gonna test it up. Okay, so if it is like, and so this is a outbound integration, right? So what if it is like an inbound integration? So we just need to configure inbound actions, just get into like an inbound actions. So here which we can create like in whatever which we can. Second, this one under system web services we have a inbound, right? So just go ahead with like in create new, not inbound actions. Inbound, that's like an email actions actually. That's what. Just go with like an inbound and scroll down on the system web services we have create new. Okay, here we are going to provide a label name. Okay, and then we can go ahead with like a target table over here. So they are going to provide a fields here. Okay, after giving these details, let's say example demo. Let me add like an any table over here just for like an understanding purpose. Okay, just click on like and create. So we are creating a inbound web services here. Okay, so now we just need to go with like an transform map and everything. So whenever we go ahead with like an mapping assistant everything, so we will get like an these thing which we can utilize for our inbound stuff. So why I'm going ahead with like an inbound is nothing but if there is something else, if it is like an REST API thing, we just want to like an REST API Explorer to give our endpoint authentication details and everything, right? So what if we want to provide for our if it's like an inbound integration, we need to provide a visitor address, authentication details, and all this stuff, right? So for that, we just need to create one new inbound. Okay, from there, we just need to provide all the details. Okay, so let me go ahead with like an as a sample. Here, let's say, so just like an, import sets, it will be there. Map the assist, let's say example, I'm just giving like in one for now. Okay, now we'll click on like and transform. There is no imports, it's available, right? That's what it's not coming up. Okay, so if I want to receive any kind of, data from like an other stuff which we can maintain like an inbound, we will create like in one thing. Okay, one specific transform data over there, and we will create all this. Okay, so that's how we will not get like in much, requirement regarding like in SOAP. Actually, mostly the rest will be available. So if you get a requirement regarding this, most probably it will be like an outbound. So when we just get like in these things, just go with like in visual address, authentication details, and functional requirement according to that, which create like in one SOAP message, and there just add on like in the details whatever which is required, and authentication stuff as well. And then we'll go ahead with the communication will be built from that. So if that is done, so you can just click on like and test, and you can check it out whether that is working fine or not. Okay, so now I'll go with like an, the difference between a rest and soap. And one more thing, you just try to note it down because it's like an important for your interview purpose as well. For sure, if you mention like an integration in your resume, okay, so they might ask about like an, difference between this and that, and what which one needs to be picked when you get a requirement. All this which they will ask you. Okay, so write it down, and then while listen in the meantime, rest and soap. Okay, the first one is like it is a representational state transfer. We already discussed about it. And then SOAP is something, it stands for Simple Object Access Protocol. Right. So this you can write it down. And the second point, which the REST is something we discussed, it is a architectural pattern in REST. It will be in a kind of like an step-by-step thing. Architectural format will be there. Whereas SOAP is something, it is a protocol stuff. Okay. So which is some and one more thing. Here it works with like in plain text. Okay, HTML, XML, JSON, etc. All the things which we can go ahead according to the requirement. Whereas if I go with like and so here only XML will work. Okay, so whereas it is like in REST, it will go with like in plain text or raw, which raw data, which we can call it, and then JavaScript will work, HTML, XML, JSON, all these things will work on. Whereas it is like in SOAP integration, only XML will work. Okay, and then the security is less than SOAP. So security will be there in REST actually, but when compared to SOAP, okay, it is not much as like in SOAP integration. It is somehow less than like in SOAP actually. Okay, so here the security is more high, high security, which we can mention. Okay, the security is like in high security, or else here you can mention like in low security as well without comparing. Low security and high security. So when comparing with like an each other, REST and SOAP, then this thing will come up low and high. Okay, whenever we are discussing about like an individual thing, so both has a security with a high standards only. Okay, so we just can go with like a token related, or else basic authentication, or else JWT, or else anything. Or 1.0, 2.0, all these things we have, and mutual authentication also, which we can use it. Okay, and furthermore, REST doesn't define like in too much standards like SOAP. So there is like in less standards which is there in like in REST integration. Whereas if it is like in SOAP integration, it defines standards to be strictly followed. Okay, so whatever the standards, whatever the protocols which is there, that should be, we just need to follow very strictly. Okay, so SOAP is something less preferred than REST, we can say, because in REST we do have like an all the kind of text as well, like JSON, XML, HTML, and everything. And we do have a third party tools as well to test it. And whatever the things which we can do by using like an SOAP can be done even in a REST as well. Okay, if it is like a high kind of security which we just need to provide with only XML data, then we'll go with the SOAP. If you mention these 2 points in interview or else even in while working as well, it will give you like an valid points over there. Okay, so it's like in high security with the XML data, then we'll go with the SOAP. Other than that, we'll prefer REST integration only whenever we get requirement. So that's how which we just need to keep this point in our mind. Okay, so one more thing is like an inherent security measures will be there for REST actually. So we do have a inherit from parent, right? Whenever I go to REST message, okay, there is an option called inherit from parent, whereas that option will not be available in SOAP. Okay, so we just need to require, we need to define the own security over there. Own security is nothing but own authentication, which we just need to mention there actually. Okay, so let me recall it all the types of sorry, difference between like a REST and SOAP. REST is something, it is a representational state transfer. SOAP is something, it's a simple object access protocol. Okay, so REST is something, it is an architectural platform which we can define. And whereas if it is like an SOAP is something, it is a protocol based one, XML protocol. And then important thing is like in REST, we have a plain text, raw data we can use, HTML, HTML we can, XML we can, JSON we can, all the types of content type which we can use it. Whereas if it is like in SOAP, only XML data is allowed and no other type of content will not be used in SOAP. Okay, when compared to like in security, when compared with the SOAP and REST, high security will be there for SOAP, whereas REST has like in less security when comparing to SOAP actually. But as an individual in REST also, we do have an security with different type of authentications will are available. Okay, and then rest is more preferred than SOAP actually. When it is just depending on like in the requirement anyhow. But here we do have like in the I think security is there, and whatever the things which we are going to do in like in SOAP, that can be even done by using REST and with a different type of content type too. So that's what a lot of clients will prefer, REST integration rather than using SOAP. Okay, and one more thing is like it inherits the security measures in REST, whereas we need to add own security in SOAP integration actually. Okay, and then we just need to define, no need to define multiple standards. Need to too much standards like SOAP over here in REST. Whereas if I go with like in SOAP, SOAP defines standards. We define standards to be strictly followed. Whatever the standards is nothing but whatever the protocols might be, the functions which you are using there, that should be strictly followed. That's what REST is something comfortable when compared to SOAP. But it doesn't, mean that we just need to use only REST integration rather than SOAP. It just depends on like and the requirement. If the requirement is stating that only XML data with high security, we just need to use it, then we will go with the SOAP integration. Or else we'll go with the REST. And other than that, everything will be like in the function operations, whatever which we do, the communicating and everything will be like in same as REST only. Okay, and we do have a envelope and headers and all this in SOAP, whereas in REST it is a normal data, only the data which we are going to add on that. Okay, so that's about like in difference between REST and SOAP integration. Okay, so I'll do one thing. There is a integration concepts which the real-time scenarios, the real-time document, how the document looks like whenever you receive the requirement of integrations, and how the real-time uh, instance look like when we are doing integrations, and whenever from getting a requirement to fulfilling the requirement from each and every step which I have explained. Okay, so there I worked with like an four integrations in one of my project. So there I have captured one integration. So as of now I don't have access to log in and to show you the how the integrations will work, because I don't have access right now. I'm out of that project actually. So and the credentials will not work right now to showcase all those. Anyhow, I have recorded that one, the real-time integration projects, what's the requirement, what we need to do, and how the requirement document will be. And as soon as we get a requirement document, what we just need to do and what I have performed in my ServiceNow instance, how the authentication is like an established, and furthermore how the transactions is like in going ahead. So everything which I have discussed with one of my batch, okay, with previous batches. So I will upload those videos. Check it out for sure. Don't skip those videos any from your end. Okay, so just check it out like in those recording videos for sure, and you will get an idea how the real-time projects of integrations will be there. If you are good with like in those stuff, you can happily narrate the same requirement. You can add a few steps over there, and you can happily elaborate your stuff, and you can put it in front of an interviewer as well. Okay, because no one will verify your project, what your work and everything in Python verification for sure. Okay, so you can narrate your story and you can put it all this in front of them. That will help a lot for your interview, and they will for sure understand. Yes, you have worked with like an integrations as well, and if you are good with integrations, that will add a weightage to your profile, and it will make you to like an shortlist even interview as well sometimes. Okay, it just depends on like in their requirement as well. If they have integration projects in their organization, different projects, if that is available, it's easy to get in. Okay, so don't skip those videos. And one more thing, whenever you are going ahead with like an interview and or anything, whenever you are preparing whatever it might be, so make sure whatever you mentioned in your resume, that should be known to you. Okay, no, don't add on like an extra information or else any kind of stuff which is not aware of you. Just make sure whatever you mentioned in your resume, that should be there, and that should be known to you. Okay, first point I just need to tell you. And the second thing is like in whenever you are narrating a story of regarding your requirement or anything, that should be a correct, proper technical thing. Okay, if you are telling like in something else and that should not there in our service now concepts or something else, that will be not fair. Okay, you might be caught. Okay. One more thing, they will ask you to test it up. How many sprints are there? How many days of sprints? Uh, how many days will be there for one sprint? Okay, so these kind of process related questions also they will ask you. Okay, make sure to be prepared according to that. So I have given like a few answers for those as well in our whole training whenever the concept came up. Okay, so just be prepared according to that as well. And then just make sure the concepts as well. Let's say I'm just need to figure it out. Let's say there is a update set concept. Okay, so just know about like and what is update set and what's the purpose of like an update set and what's the process, what needs to be done for the update set as well. And then later you just need to understand what kind of consequences will happen if we do that. Even that also you just have to make sure for each and every concept, then you will be perfect of like an each and every concept as well. Okay, so let's say you have practiced one scenario today and later you need to go with like a more as well, then just go on to like an out of the box functionalities. We do have multiple scenarios, right? Let's say client scripts or business rules or anything. Just pick on randomly 4 to 5 and then just try it up, and you will get like a lot of idea on that as well. Okay. One more thing is like in I have shared you the documents as well. Okay, in the documents there is a scenario based scripting stuff as well. Okay, just go to master service now, and there is like in fundamentals of service now. Okay, all the document names which is available over there, just go to those documents for sure. You will be good in scripting for sure. So don't get panic or hesitate regarding like, and I'm not good with scripting and everything. Just you can start, and whenever the more you practice, the more you'll be confident in scripting actually. Okay, just know about like in methods and what's the purpose of that and how you're going to use that in ServiceNow scripting, then it will be easy for you. Okay. And whenever you get a requirement in your organization, let's say example, I got one task, which is nothing but story. Okay. And I'm not aware of that. I'm not, it's very new to me, and it's not much familiar to me before. So what we can do, just keep on your task in in a short lines, and then just mention like in last in service now, and then click on enter. You will get lot of links regarding community links. Just check on like in the community docs and everything, then you will get an idea. And with that idea, with that at least like in half information, you just can approach your teammate or else any of your colleague or anyone, and you can ask them to proceed with the task actually. So that's how which you can fulfill your requirement. And one more thing, don't ask your colleagues each and every single question as well. Okay, just try it out from your end to clear the questions by using community. We have docs, we have even our training stuff we have. Okay, just check it out, just do your research from your end, get some knowledge on that, get some awareness regarding that specific concept, and then you approach your teammate or anyone blindly with zero knowledge of that specific task or anything. Just don't go blindly with the others. First time they might help you, and second time also might, but every time which you are doing the same thing, that will not be a good practice, and that's not fair for even them and even for you too. That's not a learning concept as well. So just check on like and from your end first, research regard wherever you want. Even you can go with like an YouTube, docs.servicenow.com, even go and go with like a community, and our training documents you can check it up, and then our training concepts, whatever it is related, then you can check it up. So just grab as much as you can, and then with that knowledge you just approach them. That helps a lot to go ahead with like in task. Okay, and one more thing is like, and it will be uh, a good happy thing for them as well, your colleagues as well, that you have worked on something, and if you're still facing a difficulty over there, if there is like any challenges which you're facing from your end, and they will be ready to help you as well. Okay, so that's the one thing. And one more thing is like, if you are going with like in keeping experience of 1 year, 2 year, or 3 years, or any of years of thing. So depending on like in the years of experience which you are mentioning, okay, so just expect the task as well according to your experience only, and according to your project as well, and the team members as well. It depends on like the project and the TL, your architect and your consultant as well, and your colleagues too. Okay, what kind of task which you are getting also will depends on the project. Okay, some few days you'll get like a very small task which you can perform, and later you might get like a different very new thing as well. So don't get panic if something is very new for you. As a developer, for each every day we get a new task only. So developer is something which we are going to develop a new things, right? That's how we'll get a new stuff only. Okay, so this our training will help you a lot to expand or to elaborate your skills with like in different modules as well for sure. Okay, so just focus on like an each and every concept and practice well. Okay, and you just uh after preparing like and all the stuff, if you are good with like and going ahead with the mock interviews as well, I'm ready to take up. Just ping me whenever you are available. So I will check it out like in my availability, and we will schedule a call, and I'll take in interviews for sure. Okay, and just go to the interview questions which I have given, which I have shared you. Those interview questions will help for sure. Mostly 60 to 70% of questions will cover there for sure. And that 30 to 40 is nothing but it might vary depending on like in their requirement, their opportunities, right, or their job description. We are not sure what it is. And the second thing is like in they will go with the scenario based. So scenario based, if you need to be fulfilled with that one, just go to the documents, out of the box functionalities which is available. Okay, just check it out like in different community sites as well. Okay, let's say you have one query now. So how to fulfill this one, you are not sure. Just check it out with the same stuff. Just write it out the question and then add a tag called in service now. And you will get a lot of links regarding that. Just go to all at least like in 2 to 3 links, you will understand what it is, how to fulfill it as well. Okay. So in that way, which you can fulfill those stuff. And while working, so you just need to understand one thing. Every day you just need to learn something. So I just focus on like in how much you learn, that much you can earn actually. So learning is something is nothing but earning indirectly, right? So if you are good with like a lot of stuff, it's nothing but something, if you're good with like an ITS or integration now, and later on, maybe like in after 6 months or 7 months, maybe like in after 1 year, you just need to focus on like in another modules as well. Okay, so whatever the module which you feel comfortable, just go with that, or else depending on like in your projects. Okay, let's say today I got an ITSM project and or else integration project, and later I got to know that after finishing this, they might be like in some other project is coming up with a different item. So just start learning with like an item as well from now only. Our training information, the basic information, whatever was there in our training will help a lot for sure to elaborate, or else upskill your stuff with like in another modules as well for sure. So just have an attitude that learning new things with like and whenever you get free time, just spend at least 1 hour or 2 hours to learn new things. That will help a lot to gain lot of knowledge, and you will become like an perfect, or else gem in service now. Okay, so there are like an lot of requirements which we are going to get like a new things whenever we get it. So that's a kind of like a challenge for each and every developer. Even for experienced person also, they'll get like a new things. Okay, so everyone will search and everyone will learn and they will work on. It doesn't mean like an every day you'll get like the same new things, only new implementations and developments only. But somehow you might get like the previous kind of task, whatever which you done before also can come up. But if you get a new one, so no need to get panic or anything. Just we will go with the community docs and YouTube, and we do have like a lot of resources as well to go ahead and we can fulfill those stuff. Okay, so that's how software is something we get like a new things, and we are going to work on like a new stuff only. So that's how the more you learn, the more you can be trustless. Okay, so that's about like in some points which I just need to add on, so that might help for your further steps actually. So whenever you are practicing, or else whenever you're working with like something, just know about it, what's the purpose of it, and what let's say you wrote one script today. Okay, just try to understand what kind of requirement it is, and what they have done, and what you are going to do it as well. And furthermore, save that specific script somewhere else that might help for you in future and maybe in another projects as well. Okay, so you might not have an access. Let's say the integration thing, whatever I was telling before. So I cannot save the whole process as well, right? And I can do that. So, but it's a kind of like a lot of time it will take up. Even though if I do that, so the authentication will not work. Right. So that we cannot do, but anyhow, the script, whatever which wrote over there, the process, the kind of, steps which we have taken. Okay. You can make it as like an, any Word document which you can maintain and you can keep it up all the year task over there. Let's say the same kind of task which you receive in future. So you can copy paste it and you can go ahead as well. That is a one thing which you can go ahead, or else you can download the XML and keep it in your PDI and maintain your PDI. That should not be inactive. Okay, so even that also we can follow. And yeah, so that's all from my end, and we are done with like an all the concepts of our training. Okay, so I'll go with your queries now. And if there is like any concerns from your end, and then if there is like something which you need to share on, so just please go ahead with those stuff. And today will be like in the last class of training. And if you want any extra class regarding like in Q&A, or else you need to discuss something else, okay, so we can do that as well. Just let me know before one day so that which we can go ahead actually. Okay, so as today is like in 21st, okay, if you feel like in having a Q&A session, or else need to interact with me regarding this technical stuff and all, so just please let me know before so that which we can plan accordingly. Okay, so yeah, now I'll go with your questions.
Yeah, Priyanka, how about the live project explanation, Priyanka? You have said in the previous classes that you will explain about the project.
Live project regarding admin and this one development.
No, I don't know exactly, but you have said in the previous classes that you will explain about the project in the last of the class.
Uh, is integration kind of stuff which I'm gonna give you like in the recording. Okay.
Okay.
So if I go with like an, let's say ITSM kind of stuff and all these things, is just a kind of like an, combination of all the concepts actually. Okay. So let's say example, there is a requirement called uh, incident management, which I'm gonna work on. Okay, so they will work with like an creating a new forms. They will ask you, they create a new fields over there, and then whenever I get a data from like in one specific table and upload that one to like in this one, so it depends on like in the requirement. Let's say the asset management which I worked recently. So there it was like an we already SSCM integration was like an happen to load all kind of SR details, CMDB details and everything. It's already done. What we have done over there is like, and we have imported by using import sets. We have imported contract details, assert details of like a few specific companies over there. Okay, so we have implemented a reports and dashboards, notifications. So that's how it will be. So what I mean to say is like in one specific project is not just about like an whole thing. It's not just about like an only one specific concept whole thing actually. It's a combination of like an uh, multiple concepts will be attached together. Okay, so that's how it will be. And then let's say example, if I work with like a service portal as well. So what we did over there, we have changed the background images and the content menus, widgets, the containers which we use. We just have like an added a few widgets over there. So it will be like that. So it's a kind of like a combination of multiple concepts together into one specific project. So if you are good with like in these one, all the concepts and all, whatever the project might be, whatever the requirement might be, you will be good to follow, follow all those stuff. Okay. So for you, which I can, uh, can plans one day.
Priyanka, one more thing,
Yeah,
Priyanka.
yeah.
Maybe the reason why we are asking for the project explanation is, yeah,
Mm.
as you said, the one ITSM or ITOM, whatever, one thing is not whole. But as we are going like 3 years or 4 years of experience, right? If we show like we have worked for one project or two projects, so if we can tell them that we have worked on these, you know, like
I got
ITSM
you.
for whole period of experience, so we will be, confident enough to show that we have worked on this, so that if in future or next company where we are working, even if it is a different thing, right, it will not be difficult for us, if there is a new requirement or something.
Yeah, that's what I got you completely. Even
Yeah.
the before question as well. So for like an integrations, which I'm gonna upload the video, right? So you can tell the same stuff, you can narrate it according to your comfort. Okay, so just go with that one. And whereas even in the integration also there is like a few admin kind of stuff is like an added over there, developing also will added over there. Okay, so
Okay.
which I can when can we schedule? Okay, I'll let you know one day which we will connect back. Okay, so I'll just go with like in one more requirement regarding like an ITSM which has like an whole stuff. It's like admin and developing whole stuff, and I'll go with one project. Okay, so I'll schedule one more class session. Maybe yeah, just give me some time. So I was really occupied with like in all the days. I'll schedule. I'll just inform you like in before 2 to 3 days before, so that which we can reconnect again and we'll discuss that as well again.
Yeah, okay,
Sure,
Priyanka.
Priyanka.
Okay.
And also, Priyanka, please try to show us some, requirement documents. As you said, right, you have worked with multiple projects.
Correct.
So
But
how the requirements?
yeah, in real time, in organization kind of thing and all. So I'm not using my office laptop, this is my PC. Because
Okay.
they will be like in Zoom will not be accessed, and then all the things will not be available actually. So they will not give like an access to go with all the stuff too. Okay, so what I mean to
Okay.
say is like you will not get like an access to see all those. And that's not a good practice as well to showcase all the stuff, because that's a client document and it's a confidential. If someone known that will be become like a big issue, and sometimes that will lead to like in termination as well sometimes. So what I'll do anyhow, the in integration kind of thing, I just showed like in one just document over there. One more thing, the requirement document is not some other stuff. So it's just like a Word document which we receive, and they will be like in the the first page will be the client name, and under that it will go with like a the module, and under that it will go with like in what and all the requirement which we need to do. There will be index. Okay, so in index there will be like in 10 to 15 points will be there, and each and every point will refer to like in specific one sheet over there. Okay, so it's just like an the document which is available in Word document. I'll try to do that, so but I don't I cannot
Yeah,
guarantee to showcase that.
yeah, Priyanka. If in that case, you can provide us some live scenarios, Priyanka. If you need to mention some live scenarios in the Word document and share it to us, we'll go through that and we'll practice on that. Whether the requirement is going to done by a dictionary override or data policies or
Assignment
clients.
documents.
Yes, 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 Priyanka, like that.
Yes, assignment
It's
document
not
so that
related
Yeah.
to projects which I cannot share you, but I'll prepare something for you like an assignment document, and I'll share you the same document as well. So
Yeah.
then you
Some
can reference
assignments, like in the form of like requirement, which
what
you're
you.
giving, like that.
Yeah, yeah. I'll prepare that. Yeah.
But don't mention in which method we need to do that requirement, Priyanka. We can analyze and we'll let you know
It's
whether
just a
we'll
task
connect
which
by.
I'm gonna add it. Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
Right.
give
Yeah.
not gonna give any clues or answers over there.
yeah, okay.
But yeah. Fine. Any further questions?
Yeah, Priyanka, I have a question. Can I share my screen?
Yeah.
Yeah, Priyanka, is my screen visible?
Yes.
Yeah. Or is there any mistake in this code, Priyanka?
Let me check. Problem table is equal to no. It's good.
But while saving this code and I'm trying to create the problem record, it's not creating, Priyanka. I've
Mm,
tried many
Why
times.
so?
And any mistakes in this as well, Priyanka.
After inserting, you just need to add on like an, just tie with the braces over there. Yeah. Next, what's the next one?
This one also same without mapping
Code.
the fields.
Here's dot add info, current dot short description. Okay, only you just had taken like a short description out there.
Yes, Priyanka.
Even it is good.
But just give me a second. I'll copy paste the entire code.
Just go to Venturin.
Yeah, Priyanka, can you come again?
Just go to the condition, Venturin.
I didn't given any condition, Priyanka.
Then how that will go?
Here I have
Execute?
given after, and in actions I didn't
No,
given
no,
any
no,
action.
no. Just go to Venturin and you need to insert or update. You just need to make something else over there, right?
Yeah, okay. Yeah, okay, Priyanka.
You need to give a condition when it should run. So here, in the condition only, it's not get triggering. Okay, so just
Yeah, okay.
I can insert and update whenever you create it. Then insert will work. Whenever you update the record, then update will work. So now save it and try.
Yeah, I think it will come now.
Yeah. And any further questions?
No, Priyanka, that's all.
Yeah, fine. Good.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
No problem. Any further questions, guys? All good?
Yes, Priyanka.
Okay, then. So I hope everyone will practice well and it get like in a great opportunity as your wish, as your desire. Okay. So I wish you a very good luck and everyone should get placed as soon as possible. Just try from your end, give your efforts. If you want my suggestions, help or assistance, just I'll be away from one message or one call. Okay, just make sure practice well, prepare well, and go ahead. Okay, all the very best, guys. Thank
Yeah,
you so
thank you,
much.
Priyanka. And one thing, Priyanka,
Yeah,
any
yeah.
referrals from your end?
Yeah, I'll do that. So, just share your resume once.
Okay.
So if there is like in any openings right now, the openings was like in not much as good before. But anyhow, I'll do my best to share your profile to like a few of my, colleagues and HRs which is there in my circle. We'll hope for the best then.
Yeah, okay. Thank you, Priyanka.
Yeah. And meantime, just upload your resume with like in different job sites as well in Naukri and all those. So you'll get calls for sure from there too. Okay, don't stick on with like in only one specific way. So just try it out with like in different ways as well, so that you will get like a lot of calls from there and direct from the recruiters. Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. Good then. Thank you guys for everyone for joining everyone. Bye
Yeah,
bye.
thank you.
Thank you, Priyanka.
Thank you. Bye bye.